Alrighty, we got another blast from the past from me, and that is the 1/60th scale perfect grade Double O Riser from the anime series Mobile Suit 000. And this is one of my most favorite kits, or units actually, from the 00 series, as with the Exia and its 00 Riser variant. So let's take a look at the box on the inside of this model. Alright, as we can see, we have a beautiful art depiction of this 00 Riser with its Trans Am unit. The lovely thing is, this does come with a light kit. Unfortunately, they did not have the right one. They had one for the 1/60th scale standard Exia unit, but yeah, they only had this one, so look forward to a review on the light kit that goes with this one if I manage to find it. But this is still a pretty cool kit, all nonetheless. So let's take a look at some of the cool art on here. So this does come with its standard units for like the aircraft that attaches to this. Because if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have the 00 Riser. You would just have the standard, like, souped up armor version of the Exia. So let's take a look on the around the box for this unit. So as we can see, that is the aircraft that it comes with. I have already built this kind of aircraft in 1/100 scale, so this will be the first time in 1/60 scale that I will have this model, which is going to be pretty darn cool since I have a 1/44 scale version of this, and now I'll have the 1/60th scale version of this. So this is going to be a pretty cool flying in formation when I finish building these. Moving on to the back, we see the main units of the 00 Riser and the aircraft, and so we have a whole weapons lay of weapons that it can hold. And then as we can see here, this is where the LED lights would come in. I might be able to figure something out depending on what the LED lights are. I might be able to jerry-rig something. Again, this kit is from a older release, so again, none of the writing on here is in English. So if you wanted to know everything that was on here, Google Translator, have someone that knows Japanese. That's the only way you're going to figure out any of all of this stuff that's on here. So let us take a look on the inside of this box. So again, we have two little tabs at the back of here, just like the Gundam Unicorn. So we'll just pop that open gently now. Again, this is a brand new unopened box. So again, there's going to be saran wrap on these. Okay, so undoing that. Oh well, this is interesting. So that's going to be fun. So that's a separate thing. Oh, this is already pretty darn cool, actually. I definitely want to show you guys this real quick. It actually comes with an A and B section for the assembly for this. And it even has a section for its GN drives right here. So let's slide these bad boys out real quick to see what we all have here. So this is already looking like a really cool kit. So it looks like this is split into two parts, unlike the Gundam Unicorn. So we're actually getting a bang for our buck with two model kits here. So let's start off with, I guess, the one I just grabbed. And this is the 00 Gundam from the series. As we can see, we have more of a blueprint kind of design on here. Again, this is a pretty good unit. So this is the 00 Riser Exia unit. So let's take a look on the inside of this. And we see that we have a lot of parts. And we just lost some. But it was just the blasters. So they'll come back. We have various parts on here. Iconic pieces for the shoulder armors and all that. So yeah, this is looking really cool. Again, standard armor pieces. There's a lot. We actually have a pilot in a standing position and in a sitting position. So this is going to be pretty fun trying to paint these up. Again, we have stickers for various detail that comes with this kit. Again, more armor, weapons. So this is basically supersized version. We even have... Oh, this is actually kind of cool. They actually do give us a little bit of batteries and LED lights for some of the parts on here. So I might be able to find the exact same other pieces to light the kit up. And then we have other for the shoulder, backpack, cowlings for the GN drives. We have various other parts here too. I'm also digging for the instruction manual. We have the feet, various other armor pieces. There is a lot of parts on this kit. We even have photo etch parts. This is kind of interesting. Oh, we have like rubber parts for its iconic like side armor pieces, like connector frames and all that. That's actually kind of cool. So there's a lot of parts that come with this kit here. I'm still looking for the instruction manual. Looks like we got some various springs for added detail, and again more color parts. So this is going to be fairly interesting putting this thing together. I have a feeling I know where the instruction manual is. So this is the first part. So this is the main unit for the Exia 00 riser. So I believe the instruction manual should be in the other one, since this one was A. So now let us take a look at B, which is right over here. Let me slide this one right over here. But first, I want to take a look at what's in the little box. So I believe this is actually going to be the yep, this is what I thought this was exactly what it was going to be, and this is the 00 riser units. Let me see if I can try not to destroy the box, because I want to keep the box. But I want to showcase the 00 risers in here. I'm about to say enough of the box. I can just pop them back in. So that is the 00 riser dual units. So that's actually pretty cool how they're in two separate pieces and already put together. And I believe they actually light up. So that's where we have two batteries that were in this one over here. So that just lights up, and those go right on the side. So this already has a pretty cool light built-in lighting kit. So yeah, so those are pretty cool. Now moving on to the O-Riser, which is the aircraft variant that makes the 00 riser. So again, we have a nice art blueprint depicting of the O-Riser, and this is again 1/60th scale. So this is actually a pretty good size aircraft when it's all done. We have various weapons for the energy weapons. We have the top part of the fuselage, main body, intakes. So yeah, that's already looking pretty snazzy just as is. Then we have other parts for the hull. Wing spars. Bottom of the airframe for the top and the bottom. So this gives us a kind of a variety for like the sides. Various other pieces. Trying to see where the cockpit is on this aircraft. Okay, so this, we have quite a few parts here. I'm just about done emptying out this. The only thing I'm worried about is I'm not finding an instruction manual unless I slid it somewhere. So yeah, so we've got various parts. We got the canopy. Well, we do have the pilot, so that's going to be pretty cool to paint him. Overall, this is going to be a very, very fun kit to build. There's a lot of parts that comes with this particular kit. Alright, I managed to find the instruction manuals, which is at the bottom of the box instead of inside these lovely little boxes over here. And the cool thing is, we actually get 2 instruction manuals! So I'm figuring that one is for the WAW riser, while the other one is for the XCO full armored. So let's take a look real quick at the one that is in color. Again, this is really nice. And so this gives us, again, an inside look into the unit itself. Again, it would help if we knew how to, if it was written in Japanese, if it was written in English, because it gives us a whole layout of the upgrade tree for this, which is really actually kind of cool. And it actually gives us the upgrade tree for all of the other units from 000. So yeah, this is actually looking pretty cool. I feel like this one's just an info book for the units, so this isn't even the actual instruction manual. So this is actually kind of cool, but it does give us a decal and sticker layout for the units, color schemes for both pilots. So yeah, that's a pretty much a fan book for that. So this has to be the instruction manual. And this is the instruction manual for this unit. I hope you can see fairly well. This is really well done, and it gives us a good back and forth for how the pieces are all put together. So, and again, it gives us good number scales. Again, these are not meant for beginners. These are very detailed orientated kits. These will take time. These may need paint. And most importantly, they may need to be glued, depending on how feisty the piece is. So again, we have the instructions that gives us on how all the parts, weapons, and all of those fancy toys that this kit comes with. Again, we even skip over into the aircraft. Again, it shows us pretty well step by step on how the aircraft is supposed to be made for the riser, the O riser. Various weapons on how it attaches for the wings, which is basically just like weapon pods. And yeah, so, and it just gives us the whole weapons layout on what all this connects to. And so that is the instruction manual for the 00 riser from the Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Alright, so that was the unboxing for the 00 riser. Yeah, so this was definitely going to be a very fun kit to build, very time consuming, and I do not recommend this kit for new modelers. This is more advanced for those who want to try their hands at a more serious and more detailed orientated kit. So again, for those, I highly recommend getting one of these perfect grade model kits. They're huge, they're cool, there's a ton of parts. It's going to keep you busy for hours. Again, I don't know how long it's actually going to take me to build one of these. It only takes me about maybe 3 months just to build one really good 1/100 scale Gundam or mobile suit. So I really don't know how long it's going to take me to build one of these. But speaking of building, I also managed to get a cool, apparently, Gundam build sets for tools to help build these wonderful and big monstrosities. So let's take a look at the very last thing I managed to get this Christmas season, which is a modeler's kits. Alright, lastly, we have basically what I would almost call as a mystery box, but this is full of modeling tools that my parents managed to get me, that basically said this is the kit for anyone that wants to build Gundams or any models, that this is what you're going to need and this is the perfect kit to build with. So let's see if that description that they have meets a standard for a professional modeler like myself that already has quite a selection of tools. Let's see how comparable this is and see what we can and may not need to use. Again, it's a generic box, so it's going to be full of a bunch of random tools. So let's take a look, see what we have inside. First off the bat, this is already a cool thing. We have a bag to put everything in. So yeah, this is already something I would highly recommend. Is a nice little bag that we can put everything in. I don't think there's anything inside this bag. Not yet, at least. So yeah, that is pretty cool that they have a bag that you can put all your tools in. Alright, so moving on, we have a ruler. A flexible ruler. I'm not quite sure what I would need a ruler for, unless I'm, scratch building parts and stuff. So yeah, I'm not quite sure on the usefulness of a ruler when making plastic models. Moving on. Ooh, I do see something in here that is very useful, and that is a Dremel drill, which is basically a drill, has various pieces and stuff that you can bore holes and stuff like that. So if you made a mistake, you can actually drill a hole to make new pegs or make a new hole. So yeah, this actually can be very, very useful. I actually have one, and I've used them a lot. So this actually helps out because I don't have a lot of bigger bits. So yeah, I'll probably give a tutorial on how this works. Moving on, we have, this is actually something that's important, and that is sanding sticks. So gives us a variety of different grades of sanding sticks. So this is something I highly recommend, is having a variety of different sanding sticks, and it looks like we have a variety of polishing pads. So yeah, that's actually pretty good. You want to always make sure you have everything nicely smooth. So yeah, so that actually is very useful to have. That was a bag that probably had something in it. Okay, we have sticks. Oddly enough, this is very useful if they have the right tool that's in here, and I believe that they actually did when I first was looking over this. And let's see if they have it in here. So yeah, so real quick, the sticks, basically what you can do is you can get little alligator clamps that you can put on these, and so you can put your parts on here when you're painting. airbrushing, and then you have a nice little thing where you just stab it into some foam when you're waiting for that part to either finish gluing, drying, or any other thing that you need done. So yeah, these are actually very useful. I have a ton of these types of clips with alligator clamps on top of them, and various other clamps, which I could do another review. So let's move on. So this is definitely something I would definitely want. It's a saw. I have no idea what I'm going to use a saw for a plastic model. Anyone in the comments that has any idea what I could use a saw for to make Gundams with, please let me know, because the only thing that first comes to mind is Atlantis with the guy that's trying to cut the chain with this thing. So yeah, I'm really not sure what I'm going to use this for. So let's put that over on the side that I'm not quite sure. And apparently it has spare blades. So whatever you end up cutting, yeah. Moving on. Okay, we do actually have something in here that is very, very important, and that is cutters or nippers. So we got two different kinds of nippers in here. So let's take a look to see what we have. So we have a good standard pair of nippers. I really like these style because of how they're angled, how they're angled up. It adds a little bit more. It keeps you kind of away from the plastic when you're trying to do close-in trims. So I would always recommend always having a variety of different types depending on what you're trying to cut. Now we have this, which is a pair of pliers. Yeah, I can definitely see the use for pliers when you're trying to get maybe a piece off that's kind of stuck on there. So yeah, this can be easily used for like pulling pieces off, or yeah, mostly just for pulling pieces. There are other tools that you can use for like decals and stuff like that. I would not recommend these, but this is good if you ended up making a mistake with putting a piece on and you kind of need to have a little oomph trying to get it off. So yeah, I can definitely recommend these kinds of pliers. Next we have a variety of sanding sticks, and these aren't just any sanding stick. These are different geometric shaped sanding sticks. So I've actually had a set and been wanting to actually get a newer one, and these work really well for when you're wanting to do battle damage and stuff. This is what I usually use, this triangular shaped sander, and I would just do like a nice slicing motion with it, and I would be able to get nice sharp deep lines where I'm not damaging the model too much with hot glue or a soldering knife and stuff like that. So these are really good for like sanding parts down, but also when you're trying to do battle damage, it gives you a different variety of cuts and stuff like that. So yeah, this is definitely something I would recommend, getting a variety of different gauges of sanding sticks. They're not necessarily sticks, but yeah, they're really, really good, and I highly recommend someone gets a set of these. So yeah, that is definitely something that's going into the good pile over here. So this is definitely a godsend, and this is something I highly recommend everyone gets, and that's a pair of tweezers. You will not be let down for buying a good pair of tweezers. The reason why is when you're trying to work with tiny little parts or putting on decals, you definitely want a good pair of tweezers that will hold on to your parts, or they're going to go twing, and you will assume the position. Any modeler that's out there probably knows what the assume the position is. So always make sure you have a nice, good taunt pair of tweezers. These look really nice. These are very, very pointy and sharp. So these are going to be really good when you're trying to do fine detail or trying to hold on to something. So yeah, this is actually very, very important to have a nice pair, especially when you're trying to apply stickers. These are like nice little needle nose, so they're not actually going to do too much damage when you're trying to peel your stickers off. And this actually comes with a nice little rubber case, so it keeps your tweezers from poking you. Moving on, let's see what else we have in here. We have a compass. I'm not sure what we can use a compass for. So, again, anyone that's watching this and has any ideas what you could use some of these parts on this side that I have no idea, please let me know in the comments. If you have any ideas, I'm more willing to explore. Again, I've been doing this for a while, so any new ideas, I'm willing to try new things. That's the lovely thing about modeling. So yeah, a compass. I'm not quite sure still. Now we got some, I have no idea what this is actually, so that's just gonna go over there. Get this little purple bag here, and yeah, okay, so first of all, this is like a nail decor. So this is something to polish nails, which oddly enough I would actually recommend. Because when you're trying to sand parts and when you're especially trying to straight build, yeah, you want to make sure your parts aren't being completely, utterly destroyed. But you also, this gives us a lot of good grits. So we can do nice polishing with this. You could do battle damage by doing slices with this. And this all just pops on right here. So yeah, if this doesn't go ballistic when it's spinning, that's damaging or burning off the plastic, this is actually very useful for sanding. So as long as it's not too fast, I'll probably test this out on some other models to see how fast this is and to see how good of a sander this is. Especially, it looks like it has quite a few different grits. And again, this is looks like it's for nails. So it shouldn't be too bad for plastic, because if this was going to destroy your nails, you wouldn't necessarily want it. So I'm hoping that this isn't that fast of RPM on this where it tears into or burns the plastic. But again, plastic and nails are kind of made of two different materials. So I'm going to definitely try this out on a kit or spare parts that I have and see how well this works. So this is actually very doable if this works. And we're almost at the end, so that goes with that. And we have a nice little cloth. Not quite sure what we can use that for, but nice little polisher. Okay, we actually have a cool little box full of cool stuff in here. So let's actually take a look and see what's all inside here. Okay, so let's move this like this. So we got a pair of scissors. This actually I would recommend, especially if you're working with water slide decals. You can actually use these tiny little pair of scissors to actually cut out the decals that you need instead of having to submerge the entire thing. So yes, I definitely recommend a small little pair of scissors. So let's put that over here. We have a variety of grinding sticks with different grits, so you can never go wrong with sander sticks. So definitely we'll put that in the section. We have a variety of screwdrivers. If you're wanting to work on a perfect grade, then yes, a screwdriver would definitely be helpful, because I saw a lot of parts that actually needed to be screwed together. So yes, a variety of screwdrivers if I'm wanting to work on like the big perfect grades that we just reviewed. Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. And then we have a variety of little alligator clamps that are in here. This by far, it looks like it's going to be the most important thing in here, is a I call these an X-Acto knife. So highly recommend this. This is good for cleaning parts, cutting parts out. Again, you want to use the nippers, and then you want to use this to clean any parts off. Again, I highly recommend a scalpel or a modeling knife. These are very, very useful, and I highly recommend it. So this is by far another item that I highly recommend someone gets, or it is a really good modeling knife. So yeah, that's going to go like right over here. Again, we have a variety of tweezers, actually. So this is kind of interesting, where we have a variety of different types of tweezers. So I'm not quite sure on the reasoning, other than the fact that they're at different sizes and narrow tips. So yeah, so they're at narrower tips. So yeah, this can still be very useful. They have different grades for like so yeah, these are actually kind of pretty cool when you actually have a multiple of these. So yeah, this is actually kind of cool when you have a variety of different tweezers. So yeah, now these all really make more sense, because usually you only wanted to have a nice little angled pair of tweezers, but this is giving you quite a variety depending on what you're trying to hold, because no all tweezers are made the same, and some parts are bigger or smaller, and you might not need a big tweezer. So yeah, that I highly recommend. Then we have a ruler. I can see this kind of ruler when you're trying to maybe cut out parts or try to make a mask or something like that. Then yeah, a ruler definitely will come in handy. Then we have a little X-Acto knife. So I would not recommend this. They tend to break easier. So I would never use this for any trimming of parts or anything like that. This is again something for if you're trying to cut something out. Like if you're trying to do dioramas or anything like that, then I would recommend getting a knife like this. But this one seems very flimsy. There are better ones that I would highly recommend. So I'm not quite sure that I would not necessarily recommend this kind of knife. I would definitely recommend and stick with this over this. These are actually made for trimming parts and stuff like that. These are meant for, you know, cutting paper and other stuff that is not meant to cut plastic. So, or it will be very, very difficult. So definitely don't recommend that. And lastly, what we have in here are what I was talking about with the alligator clamps. So these are the alligator clamps. I'm going to show you a little bit up close. And these are the things that I highly recommend if you can try to get as many. So basically all you do is clamp on that. And yeah, there's nothing on here. So this is actually where the sticks come in. And actually this is where the pliers actually can come in handy too. Because of how you would do this is you would take your stick, and then you would take your alligator clamp, and then you would actually just press it in like this, put it in there, and then you would take your tweezers and you would squeeze them together just like this. Lastly, we have in here is we have some grit sandpaper, and actually that's where this would actually come in handy. Like I was saying, cutting paper. So this would actually be able to cut your paper or your grits. So this has different grits and grades from soft to very coarse. So that's very, very handy when you're trying to sand. So yes, now we can move Mr. Knife over here, because this is perfect to cut these papers. So overall, this is looking like a lot of the stuff in here is very, very useful. Moving on to the last item on here is, which I highly recommend everyone gets, is a cutting mat. And yeah, it really doesn't matter what kind of cutting mat you have. I have like 5 different sizes. Typically, these help you out with getting grids and cutting out like tape, masks, and stuff like that. So these are very, very helpful for like gridding and things like that when you're trying to do a nice little mask. You can see there's various different things on these kinds of mats. So yeah, this is very, very useful for any beginner modeler. So yeah, so overall this kit was very, very cool. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff on here that I highly recommend, and there are like less items that I would basically like want to ask the person is like, why this? Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw here, please like and subscribe right over here. And again, this was such a fun video to do for this holiday season. I even dressed up and got a little pom-pom and got myself my anime Christmas gnome shirt here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope anyone that was watching this loved the inside look into these model kits here for the Gundam Unicorn, Exia 000, 00 Riser, and the other kits featured from the latest Gundam Mercury kits, and also this cool unboxing of modeling tools for beginners for Gundams and any other modeling needs. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to the unveiling or review of the latest Mercury kits in the next episode. So I hope to see you guys on Mercury.